is up? What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Digital Cypha podcast. My name is Ebonics. I'm here with the Don CJG and Dio
Yeah.
Zills. What is going on, guys?
How
Good
you
morning.
doing? Good
Awesome,
morning, good
awesome.
afternoon.
Whew, it's been a week. We missed Dio last week. He was
We
doing
did.
some
Yeah,
family stuff.
yeah. Sorry about that.
He's becoming quite the handyman over there at the house. Fixing the kitchen, breaking down ovens. Finding out what they're made
Yeah,
of.
you got to when you're a homeowner. You got to do it. At least if you want to save money anyway.
So you've bought your house and everything. Like, what have you? Has there been a change? I'm thinking about buying a house. Has there been a change in perspective when it comes to being a homeowner versus a rental versus what? How do you feel?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, at least for me, it's definitely got me more motivated financially, like to further buy more real estate, and also like really makes you appreciate your moms and dads, right? Like when you're like a kid, you don't realize all the work behind the scenes of them fixing things and them getting things ready for you, and when you become your own homeowner, you're like, man, like everything breaks down.
Makes you wish you had somebody on standby on a subscription.
Oh, for sure, man.
Oh,
Oh, that's a good idea, right?
I'm just saying. I mean, we always talk about business, so but cool. And we missed you last week, so we never got your opinion. You've been killing it on Immortals, the Immortals game from Ubisoft.
Yeah,
How
Immortals
about
Phoenix
that?
Rising.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what
Um,
happened?
Overall, definitely a pleasant surprise. I think Ubisoft got a good balance of cosmetics being earned and also being bought. I'm definitely not crazy about microtransactions, but they have a system in place where you could actually do daily quests, and every week they change out which cosmetics get sold in the store, but you can buy them with those daily quests you do, um, which is really great. Besides the fact that they give you daily quests just to make your character stronger, so there's definitely progression.
Mm.
Um, Overall, it's similar to Breath of the Wild, but it definitely stands on its own two legs. Where there's enough different about it that no one should be calling this a clone. Definitely really cool. I'm really looking forward to the DLCs coming out. The one with the Chinese mythology, and even they have like an action RPG like Diablo esque type game mode that's going to come in one of their DLCs, which looks pretty cool.
Do you foresee any multiplayer happening in that game?
I could see them doing it with that one DLC that's kind of Diablo esque. They haven't said it, but I would imagine that's probably maybe their plans to
Mm.
because if they do that and they incorporate it, then it's gonna just cause more people to wanna congregate over the game, and it's kind of cool because you'll have those two separate modes, but still be part of that same universe, and people will still wanna interact with it on their own kind of way, whether they want to play the single player mode or they want to play the multiplayer with their friends. I think that's a really smart move on their part.
Good, good, good. So, the Don CJG.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing? Hi.
How you been, man?
Yo, I've been good, Ebonics. I've been good. I've been playing a lot of very different games to what you. I know I told Deal while we were setting up. You're gonna be a bit surprised by what I've been playing this week. I know,
Okay.
obviously, last week I mentioned Bright Memory. Great game. I played that. Absolutely love it. 100% all the achievements in that. But I also been playing. What did I play? Day of the Tentacle. That was a game.
What? Day of the Tentacle?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
the Day of Tentacle and Full Throttle Remaster.
Full throttle.
Uh,
Why does that sound
for
familiar?
both like Double Fine and published by Lucas Film Games, whatever it is. Lucas, the old Lucas studio.
Yeah. Yeah.
They came out in like a whole like bundle on Game Pass about a month ago. I decided, you know what, let me play these games.
Uh-huh.
Point and click adventure, very different. Um,
I
change
miss
of
those
pace.
games. Yeah.
Yeah, it was all right. I quite enjoyed it, which is I didn't expect to. It's very like so out of my wheelhouse what I usually play, but it's taking the time, do a little something different. It's been fun. It's been real fun.
Okay, so of the multitude of experiences that you've experienced so far, which one is the best game that you've played? And because it seems to be more of a like a like a drawback to the old school type of games, right? So, you know, which one do you like? Which one can you see yourself playing a lot repeatedly?
With point and click adventures, probably not either of those ever again. But it's kind of like a one and done thing for me. I'm like, okay, that was cool. But out of the games I played like this week, particularly, I think Bright Memory was the game what kind of really stood out to me.
Okay.
Obviously, it being a whole prelude to Bright Memory Infinite, but I was so curious after playing that game. Like, I really want to see what Infinite will look like.
Okay. So Infinite is not out yet, though.
No, not yet.
Okay. All right.
But I'm on the hype train now. After playing,
So
I'm all in.
I have a little bit of a conflict with Bright Mary. Bright Mary is a very good indie game. Very good indie game, but it feels as though it when you play games, you have this knack for a certain way that you play, especially with the gamepad. And one of the things I really don't like doing is to go into a game knowing that it's a specific type of genre, and when I actually start playing, it feels different from the controller perspective, and having to learn all that while you're being rushed into a tutorial. Like the tutorial to me was kind of rushed, kind of like if it had one. You know what I'm saying? It's almost as though the game itself was a tutorial towards the end, but I didn't last long because I started getting a headache because all the stuff that you could do was a little bit bright. You know, I was playing at night, so I have to give it a second go round. But it is a very very decent, good indie game. Kind of reminds me of if how can I put it? If Call of Duty and what's that one from the guy with the powers? He was
With the powers.
He was in one of the Marvel movies, I guess. Gosh,
The Strange?
No. It's an Xbox exclusive.
Man.
And it didn't sell well. It got down. How can I put it? It's like one of those type of situations where the games are good, but the people don't give it that chance in a sense.
Yeah.
Enchanted Arms?
No. It's an Xbox. It's an Xbox One game, and the guy, he gets superpowers, but it increases over time. Is a white guy with blonde hair. I'm really trying to find out what this
Quantum Break.
Quantum Break. Boom. There we go.
Oh,
okay.
I was thinking of prototype.
So if Quantum Break, Call of Duty, and Tomb Raider was smashed together, that's what I think Bright Memory is to me.
Yeah, I see that for sure.
Dang,
it's a crazy mishmash of games, but I was like, this is so different to what I've ever seen. I loved it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, geez. Yeah. I mean, the swordplay, I don't know who I can do the swordplay. That swordplay felt more like a VR type of game on controller, but hey, I don't know what to say. It's a very good game. I think it's what, 14, it's $7 or $8, right? Right now on the market.
Yeah,
So,
I think it was like $6.69 for me. So yeah, I think it's like $8 for you guys.
yeah, and then it's gonna be Infinite is gonna be a free upgrade once that's released, and I believe that one is gonna be even more enhanced on the Xbox Series X and the Series S from what they advertise, but don't quote me on that one. So other than that, I've been kind of playing a little bit of games. Like what we're watching right now is my first take on Senua's Sacrifice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't know I can run until halfway into this game.
Nah, honestly.
Okay.
To be fair, Marks, they don't tell you anything in that game. They tell you nothing.
Bro, I'm like, I was pressing controllers, right? See if I can fight. You can't fight, right? So I'm thinking, okay, this is a walk simulation. this is a walking simulation. I'm going through like the underworld or whatever, because as I'm listening to this character, it has a lot of mythology that you would see. Like some of the things in this game, you hear a little bit in Assassin's Creed Valhalla as far as worlds.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? As
Yeah.
far as worlds is concerned, the mythology in this game
Okay.
is in that game. And one thing that very surprised me was if you die, you get the same type of treatment as though you're playing that game. Dang, why is this happening to me
Dark
today?
Souls.
No, it's not Dark Souls, but it's like Dark Souls.
Yeah, but you're kind of penalized for death.
Yeah, you're penalized for death, but what's the name of the game?
Bloodborne.
The ninja game, Dio.
Ninja
Ninja
Gaiden?
Gaiden.
No, Dark Souls, but ninja. Dark Souls, but ninja. Dark Souls.
Sekiro.
Sekiro.
Oh,
Like twice.
there we
Yeah.
go.
So when you die in Sekiro, you get the rot, and the rot changes the world around you, and it makes your enemies harder. In this game, it's called the rot, but then it eats at the character until it gets to your head, and then you die. So it's interesting how certain people kind of think the same way but do things differently in gaming. Very interesting.
Yeah. The way Hellblade did it in particular, obviously I don't want to spoil things for anyone who hasn't played the game, but very interesting the way they handled that whole thing in Hellblade.
I had to replay it because at the time when I played it, like I think a year or two, or maybe a year and a few months ago, it was cool. I really liked it. Like it like you said, it's like a walking simulator. To me, it was like a crazy person simulator with all the voices and stuff going on in your head.
Yes. That's a great way of putting it. I can't even lie.
I had
Yeah.
to think,
So like,
I had to put that aside and think that people were talking from the walls or something. Like I had to like disassociate her psychosis, like whatever she had. Yeah, like something. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was having fun with it. It's just that I had to stop playing after a while because like it was creeping out my girls, and at the time they were a lot younger. So
Yeah.
I think I could definitely get away playing with it now, but I definitely want to play it again before part 2 comes out.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Because
that's the main
even
reason
this
I wanted
is
to
so
play it as well.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. It still
So-
holds up so nicely.
So other than that, I've been on a mission on Warframe to finally get my piece. What is it called? The launcher for my Tenno to fly in space and to fly in the world without having, without the mission forcing you into it. Like
Okay.
So technically, I'm still at the the dojo itself is still at the place where it needs a certain amount of resources to get the dry dock. The dry dock is where your ship would be. So you have to get the dry dock, you have to get the ship, and once you get the ship, you can take your ship out into the universe and do missions and stuff. But you can't fly outside your ship unless you have this launcher for your Tenno.
Okay.
So that's what I'm working on. That's
Has Don tried
Warframe.
Warframe?
I played it when it first. Wait, I think it was free to play when it first came out on Xbox.
Yeah.
It still is.
Yeah, I played it briefly when it came out, and then I never touched it again.
Yeah. It's changed.
So
It's a lot
honestly,
better
at
since
this
then.
point, I have no idea what that game is anymore.
If you've been a year away from that game, you won't know. I think you know how to play the game, but it's not like you still have that feeling of what you missed.
Yeah.
And you have to dive. You have to. I think for returning people, it would just make sense to just dive into the missions, because the people, the NPCs talk to you. And they give you hints of what you need to do and what's going on. There are quest areas in the game, so you can definitely check those out. There are codexes as well. I think it's better than Destiny 1.
I mean, that's not a high bar to.
and it's I think it's paced. It's really competing on Destiny 2 from the lore perspective. There is a lot of lore in
Warframe.
in Warf. Yeah, I know, right? In Warframe, it feels like I have to read them or I have to pay attention to the person that's coming up on the screen to find out where I'm going. And I'm new to Warframe, so this is my experience with it. Um, Whereas with Destiny 1, you had to actually go to their website to understand the game. Now they
Yeah.
got better, and then you have to, all that cinematics is going on. Warframe is doing that. Warframe has added cinematics. My only thing is, I would like to replay those cinematics. You know what I'm saying? I would like to um, to get into the lore again, find out what I've missed. And that's the thing was missing from both games in my perspective, unless I start the game over. You can do that in Destiny. You can't start a game over in Warframe unless you create a whole new account. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the weaknesses in my opinion too.
So, but I played it on the Series X, super fast on the load.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Like your plane goes up, is in the you're trying to get to the planet, and then in less than 5 seconds, you're in your animation to go to the planet drops in, and then you play.
Yeah.
It was real nice. It's real nice with
Yeah,
the
that
lighting.
little time series like still blow my mind.
The only problem is that Digital Extreme it's not really exclusive, but they have stated that they are updating Warframe to the PS4 and 5 first. Well, for PlayStation 5 first, right? So whatever they're doing with the PlayStation 5 is happening there. We're not really going to have much going on an Xbox until they're ready for that. So let me look at the chat here. Connor, Titanfall 2. Shame on you, Dio, for not playing that game. It's very nice.
Right?
Shame. That'll be a game. It'll be a game that we would definitely have to play. But it's story is single player, right?
Yeah.
Right. So the multiplayer is going to be interesting.
Yeah. One of the best single player campaigns I've played in a long time.
Easily. Connor, you don't have Game Pass, Connor? Okay.
Right. Marcus is upset about that. He's like,
I have to ask. I have to ask this question because I want to make sure that everybody's cool. Is it because you want to stay on Xbox Live Gold and you don't want to go to Game Pass and you want to own your disc, or you just haven't found the time to just like click on that sub and be like, okay, now I'm a Game Pass subscriber? That's what I before that, because down the line I think I need to find them. I have a 14-day Game Pass for free code, and then I think I have another Game Pass thing that I might be giving away sometime in one of our streams in our podcast. I just gotta find a way to make that happen. So that's why I wasn't mad. I just wanted to make sure because it followed in line to what I had planned was to give away a Game Pass subscription. It's 14 days, but it's good for someone who's just never played on Game Pass before. But no point at the moment because I'm grinding on it. He's in Guardians. He's doing the Dio thing. I mean, not the Dio, the Don CJG.
Yeah.
What?
In this gameplay, you figured out this puzzle much quicker than I did.
Oh.
I was there for 20 minutes trying to figure out what's going on. You got this straight away.
My bad. I didn't need to show my intelligence there. Anyway, that's all good. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. So anybody, what's been going on this week? I know Cyberpunk has its news. Any thoughts on Cyberpunk?
I want to say I still haven't finished the game. But yeah, I think I think it's good that the I don't remember the guy's name who he was. I believe he's like project leader Cyberpunk or something. I'm glad he's kind of come out and said, hey, that's on me. I kind of messed up, and he's kind of taking responsibility for the fact that it released how it did, and at least he's kind of coming out and saying, hey, look, we're working on this, put a human face to the picture, really, because I think you see all these PR statements and it doesn't really mean anything, but seeing a guy actually come out and say, okay, we messed up, here's the plan going forward to try amend the problems we've had. I think that's a smart move.
I
I am.
mean, okay, I'm sorry.
I'm still a bit sad about the next gen update getting pushed to like later this year. I wanna-
And that's the thing is to hear that after so many promises from the marketing. The marketing started when Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 got was going up for sale in September
Yeah.
up until December.
Yeah.
And they had like a heavy marketing push. And to now see like that the multiplayer is being pushed back to as late as next year, you know, is making other games feel, you know, worth playing. And I don't mean that Cyberpunk is not worth playing. It just makes Cyberpunk feel irrelevant at this time to me, because you know, the whole thing about buying Cyberpunk was the multiplayer for me. Not really. I mean, story is great. You know, I enjoyed it and everything, but nothing feels more than being a character in a cyberpunk world with your dudes, and you have these blades in your arms, and you can hack people, and you know you got all this stuff. It's basically taking it's taking Watch Dogs, like, and you know, gave it adrenaline times like 1,000, and then that cyberpunk with your boys. But that's not happening.
And that's it. And that Cyberpunk multiplayer was already going to be delayed till God knows when anyway. And now that's probably even further out than it already is.
Yeah. So my big problem with it, like, I know everyone's like hyped because like, oh, they released a roadmap, but I don't know if you guys actually looked at it, but it's super vague.
Yeah. It's not actually a lot on there.
Yeah, I mean, it just literally says 2021 and 2022, and then in between them is a bunch of, not even a bunch, there's like 4 notes,
like
patch
3.
1.1, 1.2, free DLCs, and then free next gen console update, but with no actual dates, you know.
No
it's like there's nothing there what we didn't already know.
Yeah, so it's, and I mean, they're not even mentioning multiplayer anymore. I don't know if you know that, Bonix. So like, if that's even gonna happen anymore, like that's not happening until after 2022. So, I mean,
if anyone even cares about the game at that point.
Well, they
Yeah.
I think they care about the game. I think they do.
Oh, yeah.
Because the franchise
They have to.
the story itself is a franchise. Is a comic, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if they say they don't care about that game and they let that game die, right? Technically, the author can sue the company, you know, for damages towards his franchise by, you know, because of how things were handled. I'm not saying he's going to do that. I'm not implying that he should. I'm just saying, you know, between now and then, if they don't care, this could be a probable cause in the future.
Well, also, then it also like let's say I have my own like, you know, IP. Like, who am I gonna trust you to handle it after how you've, you know, flaunted this? You know what I mean? So I mean, they have to take care of this, or else they're not even gonna get any other, you know, deals their way from other IPs.
I mean, let's look at it this way. This really hurt. Man, I forgot the studio name. That's pretty bad.
CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, man. That is, it's pretty bad when you're that upset that you think of everybody else. You know, look at CD Projekt Red. They could have been in Ubisoft's shoes and been working with, you know, with Disney. Technically, they could have, you know, and you know, nothing was said about Ubisoft until this past week, and we're going to talk about that later on. But if CD Projekt Red had released a perfect game, it would have been to me. I would have rather CD Projekt Red than EA. You know, I know.
Yeah.
I know, you know, the guys who did the Fallen Order, you know, did a great job, you know, and they're probably, you know, the best out of EA. In my opinion, there is Ghost. I forgot the name of this. They made the first Need for Speed 2. I think there was Ghost Studios or something like that. I forgot what it was, but they're good too. But my thing about it is when it comes down to really delivering, You know, Anthem did not deliver. You know,
Andromeda.
Andromeda didn't deliver.
Yeah.
And you know, Dragon Age is still there.
I'm not even excited about Part 4, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So the team that put together, you know, Fallen Order, they delivered. They delivered a good, you know, Star Wars game, and it's canon. So, but CD Projekt Red could have been there too, because I would have rather CD
Oh,
Projekt
yeah, for
Red
sure.
than Massive.
Yeah.
You know,
Or at least you thought you ever have seen that.
yeah. Imagine you swinging your blade, you know, your saber, and you walking away, and your saber still spinning around fighting invisible enemies, and you're like, you know, you're trying to force. I'm done. Anyways.
No, I definitely feel that, man. I mean, you go based off of Witcher 3. Like, imagine Witcher 3, but Star Wars, and it's like, oh, that would be amazing, you know. But they definitely had the potential. It's just, you know, the bigger a company gets, this is kind of like, you know, what happens, and it's sad to say that, and it's sad to see, you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they could, you know, turn it all around, and I think they will. I think, you know, whatever everyone wants to say, like, you know, I kind of shit on them a little bit too with that roadmap, but the fact that the co-founder, what's his name? I think it was like Marcin Lewinsky or something like that. The fact that he even apologized, because, you know, there has to be like a whole team of lawyers like, don't do it, don't take responsibility, don't apologize,
Yeah.
say anything but those words, you know. The fact that he still did that, it shows a lot of character, and I think in the end they're gonna be a lot better for it. But it just sucks because they're always gonna have that staying now, right? Where you're gonna look at them like another Bethesda. You're gonna look at them as EA or Activision or Blizzard. You know, they're pretty much on the same level now, where before they really were above.
Mm-hmm.
At least in gamers' eyes, you know.
Yeah. Man, I don't know what to tell you. Connor says, yeah, it was definitely needed. If developers were just more open about the state that their game is in, then the fallout, in my opinion, would not be as bad. Gaming is going through a real tough patch at the moment. The reliability and the transparency on games has shifted. And I think it shifted with subscriptions. It shifted with DRM. You know what I'm saying? Games as a service. All this stuff. You know, because when you think about it, and Dio mentioned this in a podcast far away.
In the archives.
Sometimes, you know, some companies or some game developers, they create a game, it has a solid foundation, but it lacks content, and they're waiting for people such as us to jump into their games to start developing their content, right? And they get lazy with it. Like, for instance, there are games that should be open world, like what game? I think, to me, the Hunter game. Why, man? I'm gonna take some pills for this, man. Like, seriously. Monster Hunter should be an open world game.
Yeah.
The team is big enough. They have a huge franchise.
They have a fucking movie, man. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Whoops.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. They have it's a franchise. I don't know. I think the movie flopped. In my opinion.
Oh yeah, it did.
So I don't know if I should count the movie. The actors.
It wasn't that bad though.
It wasn't.
It's a good dumb movie. Like, it's an action movie, you know. And anyone watching it, because first of all, Monster Hunter doesn't even have a great story anyway. It's always been about like just upgrading your gear. So I mean, if you're a real Monster Hunter fan, I think they do enough references to the game, and they don't make any kind of crazy story. Like, I think it's a cool, you know, turn off your brain, have a beer, have some chips or popcorn or whatever, and watch it and have fun. It's good eye candy, you know.
Okay, I have to fall asleep.
Yeah, but you're not there to be like invested in. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Exactly,
it got like a bad rap because of, like, you know, snobs who are
the-
expecting something else.
Well, the references with the certain things with the Chinese and the
Oh yeah,
innuendos with that, if I'm saying that right terminology wise, but you know, that alone kind of disappointed me because you know I like the East Side, I like what they put out, Wish some games would come over here, by the way. But anyways, I'm not, gonna say anything about
the
that.
joke. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't a funny joke, but it wasn't that bad either.
But
At least
still,
I don't think it was.
well, you probably didn't, but it turned a lot of the population in China upside down. Those who are looking forward to that movie, at least.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Even some folks in Korea and stuff, they kind of see that, and it's kind of like, okay, that's kind of low. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't. I was like, if that's it, if that's the case, then I'm not gonna watch it. Because I look at people as people. I don't look at people as just, oh yeah, you over there, that's your thing. Everybody affects everybody. So in gaming, if it goes down in Japan that happened, we might not see something over in America. You know what I'm saying? Things.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it's is a ripple effect. So, anyways, where was I going to, Dio? I completely forgot in the beginning because we left that.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, open world. So the open
Yeah.
world, certain these companies, they get very lazy on that, and Dia can give you the full spill because he's a World of Warcraft fan, and I agree. If you have the team, the manpower to make it happen, just do it. Immortals, open world. A lot of the Assassin's Creeds, open world. And it's seamless transitions that you don't even see the loading. So make it happen. That's all I'm saying. In recent news, Razer came up with something interesting, and it's called Project Hazel.
Oh, yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
Excited for it because I mean, I've used Razer products for years now. Ever since I got my first gaming mouse, and they make quality products. And I think pretty much anything they put their hands on, it usually is good. I've never had a complaint with them. I love my my Razer Naga, my Razer Taurus, which is like their little gamepad thing. The headset.
I got that too, yeah.
Yeah, so cool. I think it's cool looking. I mean, just looking at it right now, it just looks badass.
It does.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
I don't think my
Yeah.
job would let me come in the building thinking that it's not an appropriate mask. But it has it based on what they're saying. It is what, N95 or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, so it has everything. I'm wondering if the cups are on the both sides are actual. You could put filters into them. Like I have all these questions, because regardless, I might get it just to have it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's cool.
Mm.
But
I'm contemplating it also.
I was looking on their website for a price and it's not there. So, man,
Yeah, this was surprising, man. Because considering Razer make a lot of gaming stuff, but yeah, face mask. He's very I guess it makes sense, but I would never predicted it.
now you can speak through the mask. There is a speaker on both sides, so you can technically, you don't have to take it off or whatever. And
Yeah.
muffle. There is speakers on both sides, so as you speak, there, man, I make myself sound like Darth Vader. Yeah, man, dude. So
yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
other than that, they also came up with a gaming chair that looks
Mhm.
crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and play that trailer so you guys can see what that looks like.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
That's crazy.
What do you guys
That
think?
is. What?
I need it.
What?
I need it.
Like,
life
when you
is
said
not
they're making a
complete.
chair, I was like, why are we talking about a chair? But now I understand.
That's like
What?
that first step towards Sword Art Online, bro. That's wow. That's sick.
10
That doesn't even
grand.
class as a chair anymore. I don't even know what that is.
Connor's like 10 grand. Oh,
Yeah.
don't do that to me, Connor. At least it'll be 2
What?
grand. At least it'll
Let
be
me
2
dream.
to 3,000. You know, 10 grand. That's what I got left on my car to pay it off. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm just saying.
Oh man.
That's insane.
When I saw that, I was like, yeah, boy. Now, if you notice, it's a chair that also extends. That has like an extension for mouse and keyboard if you want to use it. So technically, you can use it as a simple gaming chair, and you have your PC and monitors in front of you, or let's say you turn. I don't even think you can turn it around. It doesn't have like a swivel on the bottom that you can turn around.
Yeah, it looks like a
But
stationary.
in the event that, let's say, you don't have a computer and you don't, I mean, I think you would need to have a computer for this chair, to be honest. But anyways, let's stick to the video. Let's say it has its own processor and stuff like that. Let's say its own PC is built into it. I'm just hypothetically speaking, right? Forget the PC. That joint has its own screen, its own keyboard, its own mouse. Well, no, I can't say its own because you probably have to buy all the Razer stuff. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
But technically, it's all there, all in one. You ready to go game? Go sit
That
in your chair.
is that's just insane.
My God.
You know,
Wow,
that's pretty cool.
That's crazy.
That is pretty cool.
That is cool. He's
Yeah.
gonna.
They probably.
I'd love to have
Wow.
one, but that is crazy.
I don't think I'd ever leave my house again, bro.
Right?
Nothing would get done.
Dude, you have to. The country depends on you. Oh man. Working from home, I would have to get something connected to that chair. I'm telling you, like that screen, that's bigger than the widest wide monitor out there.
Literally, like, as soon as the TV came out the back, I was like, "What is this?"
That is nice.
Wow.
That is nice. Anyways, okay. So, LucasArts or LucasArts Gaming or Entertainment, I forgot what their name is. You know, forgive me, Lucas. They have reached out to 2 companies who are actually publishers. Reached out to Microsoft or Bethesda, and they've reached out to Ubisoft, Massive Entertainment. Massive is making an open world Star Wars game, and Bethesda is making Indiana Jones. Thoughts?
Mhm.
What are you guys thinking at this point?
Dude, this
Because
came out of nowhere.
It did
Yeah,
come out,
it did come out of nowhere.
Like, went boom, this is what we're doing. I was like, okay.
Right? I went on Twitter. I was like, "Why is Indiana Jones trending?"
Yeah.
And here we are.
I find it interesting because for a long time, Phil Spencer was interested in something that is similar to Uncharted and Tomb
Yeah.
Raider.
Yep.
I mean, and it so happens that on his birthday, Bethesda announced this on Twitter.
Oh, really? It was his birthday? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, technically, you could have. I mean, there was a whole bunch of "Happy Birthday, Phil." I was like, guys,
Some brownie points right there, dude.
I mean, I'm not gonna get Game Pass for free for a year, so I mean, you know, mad kudos to the guy because he is making waves. But like,
Oh yeah.
jeez, like
Yeah. I
serious.
think, like you said, Uncharted and Tomb Raider, those kind of games are on the shelf at the minute. I think, you know, this is Confirmed Xbox exclusive. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think this is it, man. This is a gap. Like, there's no other games right now what are kind of going on in this kind of action adventure kind of scenario. So I think it's gonna be cool, man. I'm excited for this game, which I didn't think I'd ever say about Indiana Jones.
But here's the
But-
thing. Here's the thing. Don, have you ever seen any of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I
I
have.
just want to make sure
Wow.
because
I have.
Yeah.
these are movies that sits next to when
Whoa, 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 whoa,
to when
Hold up. Did you see the originals or you saw that remake that came out like 2 years ago?
Listen, I don't know which one I saw. I saw a movie. There's
you
a guy
see-
with a whip.
did you see Shia
There's a dude with a
LaBeouf?
sword, and he's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
plane.
Did you see Shia LaBeouf?
I don't remember. Maybe.
Maybe.
I
Because-
don't think I knew who Shia LaBeouf was at the time.
Just do it.
Just do it. All right. Anyways.
I played Lego Indiana Jones too.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
You know, I'm deep in the franchise, man.
So here's what I'm saying, right? We both know that as a franchise, movie wise, the movie series is aging. They tried to put Shia LaBeouf in there, and I don't know if it worked or didn't work. We're not hearing about it, right? You're not hearing of any sequels, as far as I know, or anybody else that I know of. Could this be a push towards a franchise in gaming where the story is going to continue? Now, I'm saying this with full knowledge that they have Bethesda is saying that they're staying true to the origins of the story, right? So
Okay.
we could see Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Temple of Doom. I forgot what the third one was, but we could see those in a sequential format, possible. But are we looking at Indiana Jones in the same light that Uncharted is, where it's going to be pushed and then it's going to become its own franchise moving forward, story wise? You know, part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think so, man.
Yeah, I would think that they're either gonna go after what happened in the original trilogy, or they're gonna do something prior to it, like a prequel kind of thing, at least to start off with. And just depending on the success of it. I mean, I'm not really into Tomb Raider or like Uncharted stuff, but there's definitely a market for it. Obviously, they're very successful franchises, but I think this is a very good move, and I think this is something that probably wasn't very hard for them to acquire. You know, because I mean, it, like you said, like it's been kind of dead for a while, and Shia LaBeouf didn't do anything to breathe new life into it. You know.
Look, I see. I can understand where Connor is coming from, where he said Xbox exclusive confirmed, but I personally don't think that they're gonna make an exclusive.
I don't think so either, honestly, because it's Indiana Jones.
It's Indiana Jones. That's one, and two. This is LucasArts, and LucasArts when they launched, what did they do? I think Indiana Jones was supposed to come out on 360 and PS3 or 4. I don't know. And it got canned, right? So I think they made a good move by choosing Bethesda and Microsoft at this point in time because of Game Pass. You know,
Well, I feel different about that part. Well, Bethesda does a very different kind of game than Tomb Raider and Uncharted. They do open world games, which is great, but it's not really action oriented, which I would imagine this would be, where they do more like sandboxy, like not MMOs, role playing games, like Skyrim and Oblivion and stuff like that. So unless Bethesda puts this down to like one of their other like dev teams, like id or something like that.
It is going to a specific dev.
Machine Games, yeah.
Machine Games,
Which-
yeah.
Okay. See, that makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah, it is going towards them.
I mean, is Machine Games, did they do Wolfenstein? Am I correct in saying that? Or
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Okay. Now the thing about it is specifically that LucasArts contacted them, It's almost like, you know, imagine if I wanted to make a Star Wars game. I and I would pitch my idea. Somebody would come to me and say, "You don't come to us, we come to you." That's the vibe
Yeah.
I'm getting when it comes down to
Yeah.
the future of Star Wars and anything within the franchise that belongs to LucasArts. Um, because they did the same thing with Ubisoft, right? They
Yep.
found
True.
Massive, and they felt Massive was a good fit for the open world Star Wars um, game that has been put out there in social media. I have a little bit of a conflict with their recent game. Um, One thing about us with Ubisoft is they know how to overpopulate a game with missions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Not the
I
truth.
agree.
it's one thing when a game has a lot of content. It's another thing when there's so much content that you have no clue what to do with it. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
should I go here? Should I go there? I'm a little bit confused. Like, if I went back to Division 2, I would like, okay, I gotta go towards these because the map shows you everything you haven't done, and it's overwhelming.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So that's the only caution I have with Star Wars is like, okay, are we gonna see this? Are we gonna see all these side missions and content? That's gonna be all around the place. Like, if you rode your horse from one side of the map to the other, it's gonna take you a full day to 2 days. And there's content filling that map. Like, yo, that's crazy.
Well, to me, so that was also one of my, I don't want to say a problem because it's a good thing. I just think how they handle it with Ubisoft is not necessarily how I would like. I would probably like to see an option where you could turn off. So like with Immortals, um, Phoenix Rising, you have like this mode where you can like look around the map and then you can see where everything is, right? Even if you're not like looking directly out of it because of line of sight, you can still see that, hey, there's a treasure chest here you can get, or there's this upgrade you can get.
Yeah.
What they should do, in my opinion, kind of bring it back old school. And obviously still have a map and compass and all that stuff, but unless you put a marker somewhere, because like a lot of these areas look beautiful and they make you want to explore in general anyway. You're like, oh, what's over there? Instead of like giving you this easy mode to like to find things, if they just made it where you could just look and you just look on your own accord because you're interested, it would make it more interesting because it would feel like you're actually discovering things as opposed to like unlocking things, and at that point it just feels like a chore, at least
Yeah.
in my opinion.
By promoting like discovery and kind of adventuring around yourself.
Yeah, and I think if they just did that, at least give an option, because even if you could always say, oh, well, if you don't like that, then don't play that way. But you end up doing it just because you know that that's there and that's what's most efficient.
Yeah.
I think most gamers try to be efficient when they play,
I think that's what they kind of do with Assassin's Creed. They kind of give you the option to, you can play traditionally where you got all these marks and maps, or you can kind of go in blind and actually kind of discover things yourself, and the AI will give you tips on where things are, and I think that could be a thing they could do with Star Wars.
Yeah, I would love to see something like that because they definitely make big open worlds, and that's great, and they definitely have plenty of practice. I mean, look at all the Assassin's Creed games they have, and Legion and all that stuff. I mean, Watch Dogs. So I think they're in good hands with an open world Star Wars game. It's just that they need to just bring it back a little bit, like old school, and a lot of gamers I think would appreciate it, even though they don't think that they would. My opinion,
Yeah.
I think it's the repetitiveness of that open world, if you will. So when you think about, I think it ended for me, as far as, how can I put it? I wouldn't say ended. I think this transition of open worldness happened starting with Black Flag. I know, like, the ones before, they were open world as well, but, well, actually, no.
Never quite to that same extent, though.
The one with the Indian, the assassin that was an Indian, I think that one
Assassin's Creed 3?
Yeah, I think that one was
Yeah, had a
open
bunch of
world
different
too,
cities,
but
and yeah,
yeah, um, because I think the cities were trying. You had to load into the different cities,
yeah,
and then the map outside was the actual open world outside the cities. And I think with Assassin's Creed 3, you could actually just go into the city from the open world, if you will. So it was all seamless then. But the reason why I'm saying that is because when all the games you've played were all open world and they were all Assassin's Creeds, and then you finally get to Valhalla, you'd be like, okay, here we go again. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And again, it's not a bad thing if it's what you love doing. Um, it I'm just trying to find out, like, okay, Yubi, what else are you capable of doing? Because we know you've dominated the open world games. Awesome.
they can't do a Winter Olympics game, so we do know.
Is it SSX or
Rest,
something like that?
rest in peace, Steep.
Steve, there we go. Oh
There we
wow.
go.
Wow. So this is gonna be interesting. I would like to see where this goes. Honestly. But it is the new
Yeah,
year. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, I think it's gonna be cool, but I'm definitely more excited about the Star Wars open world game.
Then Indiana
I would,
Jones.
yeah, comparatively, only because like to me, there's more depth with Star Wars, especially
Mhm.
depending on how Ubisoft wants to approach it. Like, if you could be wherever you could be on the light or dark side, you be a Sith or a Jedi.
Yeah,
Can
there's a lot
can you
more.
be a bounty hunter? Can you what?
Yeah,
Oh man, there's just so many
a lot of
possibilities.
flexibility
You
there
know,
compared to like
Yeah.
Indiana, where it's ground more reality.
it
Oh
makes a
yeah.
little sense now that I think about it. Why hasn't Good or Evil come out yet?
So that's a good point. Forgot about that game.
Which game?
That's a good. But yeah, Beyond Good
Good,
and Evil.
Beyond Good or Evil, yeah. You remember seeing that
Oh
one?
yeah.
Right? What happened to that?
The
When
hell?
was that even announced? That must have been like 3-4 years ago, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they had a dedicated
Huh.
dedicated updates, on YouTube about the game and where it's at and everything, and then no news whatsoever.
Someone
It's
send out a
so
tweet.
true.
It's a space game,
Uh,
you know.
Yeah,
When you think of
I remember
yeah,
like the
when you think
preview looked really good. Like the
Yeah.
pig man looked
yeah,
badass and everything.
and if you look at the universe,
Wow.
it's very fitting to be a Star Wars.
Beyond Good and Evil Star Wars collaboration,
Yeah,
you think?
it has that vibe.
It has
Has
that
that vibe.
vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm
I
not
forgot
saying
all about that.
I'm not saying that they should use their assets for Star Wars. I mean, I think they're two different types of how can I put it? I know the fans will be like, "Man, this is not Star Wars. This is Beyond Good and
Yeah.
Evil." But
Yeah.
I think that the talent behind that is very good. Now I'm not sure if it's the same people. I'm not sure who was making Beyond Good and Evil for next gen. What was it? Massive? It wasn't Massive. They were making Division.
I'll have a little Google.
Yeah, but that's a very interesting situation there.
Yeah. I remember being pretty hyped about it because like it looked really interesting. I mean, I never played part one, and not because it was a bad game or anything like that. It's just that at the time I was really heavy into World of Warcraft, and I always thought it looked cool. But when I saw that preview for part two, I was like, wow, I can't wait for that. Yeah, it definitely fell off my radar. There just hasn't been any updates.
Right.
The last blog post they had in that game was in July 2020.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah, so
because
it's still alive. Just
That's good.
somewhere.
and not only that, but they also had some kind of a motorcycle game or rider or something that they were working on, and they stopped development for that as well. There's either open world or some form of MMO. I'm not sure. So I have to look into that, and we'll discuss that later on. But so far, this is what we have for Microsoft exclusives this year, right? We have Adios. We have Artful Escape. We have The Ascent. We have the Big Con. Crossfire X, which I'm still waiting for because I believe Crossfire X will be Microsoft's answer to Call of Duty. I'm just saying. And for those who don't know, because you might not be Call of Duty fans, but Microsoft and Activision had a partnership, and like either once a year or twice a year, they would have these competitions that were money based. You would win things, and they would be, and like all these players would go to some part of America. Like the last one I remember was either I think Nevada or something. It was like a desert, and it had like this huge tournament. It was ridiculous. They had like a show and everything. I mean, when Xbox goes big, they go big.
They
You know
go
what I'm saying?
big, yeah.
They go real big.
They really do.
So, but then as we all know, Activision went with PlayStation 4 and started producing Call of Duty exclusively, not exclusively as a game, but content-wise, they went exclusive to PlayStation 4, and then they're timed, so it is what it is. Dead Static Drive, Echo Generation, Exo Mecha, Exo 1, The Gunk, Halo Infinite, The Last Stop, a game called Lake. That's an interesting name, just Lake. You have to see what that one's about. Sounds like a scary game. Little Witch in the Woods, The Medium. The Medium's coming out on the 28th. Flight Simulator, Psychonauts 2, RPG Time, Sable, Scorn, She Dreams Elsewhere, Shredders, Song of Iron, Tunic. I am waiting for Tunic or Tonic or whatever it's called. That's basically like a top-down Zelda type game, single player, and it's a fox with a sword and a shield. Very interesting.
Oh, I think I know about. Yeah, that looks cool.
Yeah, it's 2 years. It's 2 years old as far as when it comes down to when it was first revealed. I can see why they waited for the Series X. 12 Minutes, Unexplored 2, The Wayfarer Legacy, Warhammer 40K, Dark Tide, The Way to the Woods, and The Wild at Heart. These are just some of the games that is slated to be exclusive to the Xbox releasing this year, 2021.
Oof.
That's a lot of
loaded.
That's a lot of games.
They say some with that big list.
These are some because we still have unannounced, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unannounced stuff. We still have E3 where people like to, you have E3, Gamescom, whatever's coming out during Christmas time and fall time. Because usually that's when the games really start popping off, is during the summer, fall time frame.
Yeah.
And this year, but I mean, what's happening? I don't know what's happening this year as far as, the whole spectrum, right? But this is all it says is 2021 for these games, with which one? The Medium being this month, the 28th. So there's a lot.
Be checking that one out.
And let's keep in mind that some of these games that are unannounced, sometimes they go as indie games on Game Pass to do a check on who their audience is before they go release. So Connor, I'm gonna have to bless you with a Game Pass code, and then I'll discuss it with the team of how we're gonna do giveaways, at least like a monthly giveaway or something maybe. So,
good.
Yeah. But guys, this is it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for coming through, listening to us. It was a crazy week, a crazy beginning of the year with Cyberpunk, leading into Indiana Jones and Ubisoft Star Wars. I think we have a lot of things that's going to be dropping this year. I think whatever Phil Spencer did with Bethesda, I think we're going to see some more this year. It might not be on that magnitude with the money spending, but it will probably be with games. It'll probably be with services. Oh, speaking of, Microsoft, I should say, or Xbox, has put a new update. Is in the insiders right now, where
Yes, I heard about this last night.
they're fixing the controllers, but they're also doing this incremental update. So instead of impacting the console entirely or the SDK entirely, so when you update, it shuts the game down, it shuts the whole system down and goes through an update process and then brings everything back up. They're doing incrementals. So my thoughts is you're playing a game and that notification comes up, hey, you have a new dashboard, or hey, we updated the chat system to improve this. It's not taking you out of your experience or out of your immersion. It's just happening in the background, which is pretty cool. So I'm looking into that, and we'll probably talk about that later on in our future podcast. But I just want to let everybody know that that's happening.
I want to try that out.
Well, if you go Insider, you have to be a part of the Omega program. Omega program is kind of like, we invite you, you don't, type of situation.
This is like the the Illuminati of the inside.
Oh wow! I'm already an insider. I didn't know about this other subsection. Okay,
it's there. It's there. Trust me, it's there. And I think your Xbox would have to be molded to be updated very frequently. Like you'll be bothered by the amount of updates these guys get, because sometimes it's game breaking or it's console resets and all these other things happen. So it's if anybody says, "Oh, you're an Xbox gamer," oh man, you're a tester, right? If you remember hearing that back in the day, the Omega program is basically your testing. You're literally testing the features, and it can be immersion breaking if that's a thing. So if you don't want to be broken from your immersion, like you're playing Cyberpunk 2077, and then next thing you know, Xbox crashes.
Was it a game? Was it a program? Who knows?
Was it the console? Don't join the Omega program. If you join and then you don't like it and you try to get out, it would wipe your entire Xbox console, and then you have to re-download all the games. So if time is something for you, I would not recommend it. Yeah. So, but that is it, guys. Again, thank you for joining. Thank you for being a part of the podcast. Again, my name is Ebonix, the Dio Zales and the Don CJG. Next time we will definitely put some links to where you can find us individually. I think Dio needs to put himself out there on Twitch. He's lacking.
Yeah.
But, he's a hard worker anyway, but still.
Procrastinator.
I'm just saying, he people want to talk to the guy behind the voice. So, but anyways, again, thank you guys for showing up.
No worries.
Of course.
Pleasure being here.
And thank you, community, for being here. Connor, especially, for jumping in the chat and talking with us. You guys
Connor.
Have a good week, and we are out.
Ciao.
Dio out.